All right, it looks like we are live. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Steve McGarry. I'm going to be hosting today's episode about Flippa learning. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're brand new here and you're interested in all types of investing, this is what I'm doing on the channel, is covering things about alternative investments. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. And I wanted to do a special stream today because I have partnered directly with Flippa.com, one of my favorite sites on the entire internet, and created a online course. As many of you know, in the past, I've talked a lot about, buying and selling websites in my past on various different marketplaces, and by far, my favorite one is Flippa. I interviewed Blake Hutchinson on the podcast probably almost 2 months ago now. It seems crazy that much time has passed, but we started talking about education and the importance of investing, and we realized that there is a very large tranche of investors that are looking for simplified education around the new asset class that is websites, web properties, apps, and all these different types of businesses online that you can acquire and gain passive income through. And passive income is kind of a buzzword. This does take a lot of work. Sometimes when people hear the word passive income, they assume that it doesn't take any work and you can just sit on a beach. But the reality is this definitely takes some work that you need to put in. So this is not something that you just switch on and it creates passive income. You will have to work to set up a portfolio of various online businesses. And that is a good rule of thumb going into anything, is you're going to have to put in some elbow grease and some work. So I partnered with Flippa directly to launch Flippa Learning. As you can see, learn with prolific website investor and entrepreneur Steve McGarry. That's me. And we're really excited to roll this out today for all of the investors out there on Flippa, on various marketplaces and brokerages that are looking for online businesses to add to their portfolio of assets. And it's an exciting thing for me because it is one of my favorite companies out there. It's a marketplace that I've used for years to acquire over a dozen websites, buy and sell. And I've seen a lot of different stuff. I've failed dozens of times. I've had big wins, that make up for all the failures, just like many different asset classes out there. But overall, I'm really, really, really excited to have created this content with Flippa and just bring it to you guys. And I've tried on the channel to very much showcase that investing is risky. It's always going to be, and if you want to live a normal life, make your investments where the herd and the normal investors are investing. That is just bread and butter investing. If you want to do that, go for it. I'm all for it. If you want consistency, if you want consistent low returns and safe investing, do that. Usually you'll run into all the normal hurdles, normal paycheck, normal returns, normal asset classes, all these things kind of fall into the same bucket where the herd's moving. If you want to veer away from that herd, you can do alternative asset classes that are just on the cusp of hitting mainstream, like something like web properties. So I'm not here to just constantly talk about this new course that I find awesome because I made a large portion of it for you guys, but I'm mainly here to discuss that it is an up and coming asset class, so everyone needs to do their own research. You need to dive into something like a beginner course. Always invest in yourself. Lay a foundation of knowledge before you dive into any type of investment. Usually, if you aren't knowledgeable about an asset, you're speculating. And if you're knowledgeable about it, you're an investor, is what I like to say. My business partner, John, talks about that a lot. And it is a very fundamental component to investing is knowledge. Invest in yourself. Make sure that you have a good footing in a new industry or a new asset class before you move your hard-earned money into that asset class. And that was our intention with Flippa Learning. And what's happening now is we're rolling it out to new investors coming on to Flippa. Flippa has thousands, over 4,000 investors coming on every month signing up. So we're rolling it out to new people. So if you guys are currently on the platform, you can go to the link in the description below and check it out. And let me know your comments also once you check it out, just because it is uh, something that we worked really hard on. And I am always a firm believer in constructive criticism. So always all about the feedback. That's what keeps the world go round. Nothing happens when people sugarcoat things, and it's important to get that out there. So real quick, it's comprised of 5 different sections, like the basics of the Flippa marketplace, so like how it works, the key features that you need to know going on to Flippa while you're buying and selling. In the second section, it's about due diligence. There's a lot more content coming about due diligence, but I give a very high level. In section 3, you can learn negotiation tactics. That's my favorite section out of all of them because you can really structure some really fun deals, and there's no rules when it comes to structures. So you can minimize your amount of risk, take calculated risks with section 3 learnings. In section 4, you can learn what needs to be done in the first 90 days. So this was actually something that was suggested by the CEO of Flippa to me. He was like, hey, the most questions that we've seen are usually the first 90 days after either sale or purchase. So from both sides. And just a quick knowledge nugget in the course, I talk about SOP or standard operating procedures. If you're buying or selling a site, standard operating procedure is just what you need. You need to make one as a seller. You need to ask for one as a buyer. That's just how the handshake of buyer and sellers in this industry work, and it makes everything go much smoother. So highly recommend that. Little knowledge nugget for you there. Create SOPs left and right for your different assets so that they can easily be handed off to a seller or ask for them as a buyer. Section 4, that is definitely the key component there, the 90 days after, and also creating a group chat with Slack and, starting an open conversation with your developers and your team. The last and final section is a very, very important release from Flippa recently was financing. So you can actually get financing for a business now, which is massive. You could literally go on there, find a business that you really want to pursue for the next couple of years, get a loan for it through their partner, and that's a big deal for someone like me who came from humble beginnings in the Southeast, and quit my job and jumped into entrepreneurship early on in 2013. Sold a company to a PayPal co-founder and got into buying and selling websites and various other asset classes that are all considered alternative. I think that this is a perfect example of how providing credit and debt to people that want to use it and leverage it. Usually the path to wealth all across the board requires some debt. You're going to have to take some on for leverage, and for people that are brand new to this entirely, leverage is basically just using a small amount of force to achieve a large amount of result. So you're taking on a small amount, or you're putting in a small amount of cash in exchange for a large result, like a business. Putting 5, 10, 15, 20% down on something is a powerful mechanism to take advantage of. So that is the section 5 that we go over what that looks like for Flippa financing. Very exciting that they rolled this out. It went like hotcakes on the first day that they rolled out financing. And the final piece is just a summary of everything that I go over in section 5. So I know that this is kind of repetitive to talk about on here, because I go over a lot of this on the channel, but nowhere near the level of depth that we go into in the course, because splitting it down into 5 sections under an hour, you can literally learn all the basics. You can get your footing, get a strong foothold in the asset class of buying and selling websites. You can learn about, the basics. And by far the most critical feedback that I got was that there needs to be more information about everything. So this is the entry level for beginners, like getting your first footsteps in the industry, learning about all the different assets or all the different aspects of the asset class that you need to be thinking about going into it on Flippa's marketplace. So for everyone that's beginners, and for even experienced people that just want an overview of, deal structures, the types of verifying on something like Flippa with learning. And then for the more experienced investors, this is a great overview of probably things you already know, and then things that you definitely have not heard about yet, especially in section 3 and 4. Some surprises in there, but overall, it's great to partner with Flippa, one of my favorite companies out there, and it's very exciting to be releasing this to the world and showing you guys some of the exciting pieces that we've been working on in the background. And there's going to be more content. Flippa Learning is just starting now. This is the first course on it, and rolling this out has been a big mission. So there is going to be more courses rolling out over the next months and years to come, helping people educate themselves before investing in a brand new asset class on the Flippa marketplace. This is the first that I have seen in the entire industry. So if you're out there on, all the different brokerages out there, you should check this out, because this is breaking ground on an educational course about the ecosystem on Flippa. So that's it for this stream. I really just wanted to talk about the concept of Flippa Learning, how big of a deal it is for the space as a whole to really unify the education around buying and selling websites. I think it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry in the near future, because similar to real estate in real life, you have a entire digital footprint that people are trying to offload and buy and acquire a property on the internet. And it's starting to really play out here in a big way. So the basics will be important, and that's what we wanted to cover in the first course for Flippa Learning. So that's it for this. If you guys like this video and you want to check out more about Flippa and buying websites, the link will be in the description below. The like button is down below. If you like the video, it helps the algorithm. YouTube loves that, and it helps the channel, and helps more people discover about the asset class of buying and selling websites. So that's it. Hope you guys like it, and I will see you guys on the next episode.